Hello, hello. Thank you for checking in. Great to see everybody. It is Thursday. Thursday, a regular feature of Live with Lorielle, new called Stupid Question Day, where I put on the genius cap right here. Ah, the genius cap, which imbues me with the power of geniosity, allowing me to answer any question about any topic in the entire universe with complete accuracy. Guaranteed. Mm, guaranteed. So, so uh, I hope you. Oh, there's hair in my face. I hope you have some questions for the genius, and welcome everybody. It is. Yeah, hello, Mr. Basta. Yeah, it is another beautiful day in California. Woohoo! Sorry you don't live here. And yeah, I know. It's the middle of October. Flowers are blooming, the sun is out, it's warm. So yeah, sorry for all of you that already have winter starting. But woohoo! And yes, and thank you to everyone who put up with my very long harangue yesterday regarding sexual harassment and inappropriateness. And I could go on. I have so many different stories to tell, different encounters. But the but sadly they're not that unique in that I would guess that most women have had similar experiences with me. Oh, Dantooine. Dantooine has the first question. Dantooine says, what are you going to be for Halloween? Harley Quinn? A Wonder Woman? Or a werewolf? Harley Quinn. Well, Dantooine, I think for Halloween I would dress up like the famous RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because as much as I like female superheroes, I like some real life superheroes too, and that would be my RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, so I know, and usually Halloween, a lot of many women like to dress up as the sexy version of whatever they are dressing as, the sexy nurse, the sexy convict. I will not be dressing up as the sexy Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I will just be dressing up as the superhero Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Sam says, why is it that every generation likes their music best? Even though my generation's music is the best. Oh, he says, talk about proving your point. Yes, Sam. That is yes, the proof is in your question, because we all tend to like what we are most familiar with, and have memories and times of our life associated with those musics. And usually the music that you were young and growing up to, that is also the time when you pay the most attention to music. When you're young and you're teens and 20s, you're very much keen and paying attention to what is playing on the radio. The people in their 40s and 50s, 60s probably aren't. So you like your music because you probably never listened to very much past that. So you're not familiar with it, and it all sounds foreign to you. So there you go, Sam. If you exposed yourself to more music, you might like some more music. I know. I should stop myself there because the rest of you stopped listening after I said expose yourself. Don Tween says, I think you broke Hangouts. I don't know. Yeah, it's possible that Hangouts is not working right now. I don't know if anyone's having trouble getting in. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Hangouts is working properly. I'm sorry if it isn't. I have no control over the whims of Google, but I am on YouTube. So yeah, I think I'm getting people are saying that Hangouts isn't working properly, so I don't know what to do. So I will just be reading from YouTube for the questions. Sam says, if I exposed myself, I would be laughed out of the country. Really? Is it really that bad, Sam? Because I am sure there's a lot more people that would be laughed out of the country before you. And if you're going to be, I would rather be laughed out of the country than, for instance, chased or kicked out of the country. Oh, hey, Linda. I'm glad you made it. Linda, are you having trouble with Hangouts? And people are saying they're having trouble getting logged into Hangouts. Don Tween says, what is with your being on time punctuality thing for the last couple days? Responsibility doesn't suit you. That is so true, Don Tween. Don't worry, Don Tween. It never lasts more than a few days. And I have to say, it's not my fault. Though I've always been on time for work situations, though it takes an extremely great effort and lots of planning, starting from the night before. But as far as my life goes, it's not my fault. I've been late and not on time, and starting from the day I was born, and it's my mother's fault. I can honestly say that growing up, we would go to church on Sunday. We never got there before the service had started. They were always singing by the time we got to church and snuck in and sat in the back row. Oh, wait, that was David Jones. Oh, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. David Jones says, what is with this punctuality? I should have known. Linda says she didn't have any trouble getting signed on to Hangouts, but everybody else seems to be. So sorry about that. You'll have to complain to Google. Sam says, is it ever my fault? It's true. Sam saying, do you ever take responsibility for, well, sure. Sure I do. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever was going on with Hangouts, it seems to be working now. I'm not sure. Anyhow. Yeah, so it is Stupid Question Day. I am answering your stupid questions with complete accuracy while wearing the genius hat, chatting the hat here. So I hope you have some very important questions about any topic. Yeah, I can tell your future. I can predict things. I can answer technical health questions and all kinds of stuff because I'm wearing the genius cap. David Jones says, does the genius ever talk to you about wearing the hat? David Jones tried to trick me by saying about wearing his hat. No, that must be a typo, David Jones. Because this is, the genius is wearing her hat. Yeah. The genius encourages me to wear the hat every day. Every day. Though I found that I got a lot of weird stares when I wore it around during the day to the store and other places. And it's also really hard. It doesn't fit in the car. So it's really hard to try and drive with it. Sam says, what is my favorite music? Well, Sam, that's a good question. I like all kinds of music, though I find I really like, there's a lot of current music, today's music that I like, but I also like a lot of 90s, 2000s. Mostly, I'd say pretty much everything for the last like 20 years or so. Sam says, why do my green eyes look brown? I cannot control the color on this machine. It changes as I move. Hi, Tesis. David Jones says I could try a sunroof. No, well, then it'll blow off. It won't stay on my head. Yeah, but you know, it's funny because the current radio stations now, they play music as current music from the 90s, the 2000s. But the last, like, because if you think from 1990, that's like 27 years. And I hear music from the last, all played kind of like as current. But pretty much the last 20 years. I have not done to eat. Sam likes things from the 60s and the 70s. That would be like Creedence Clearwater Revival and the Beatles and the Stones and Led Zeppelin. Linda says Nirvana. No, I think that was more, is that the 80s or the 90s? Nirvana. Kurt Cobain has been dead for a really long time. Is it 90s? I'm not sure. Sam says, do I have albums or CDs? I have CDs, but all my CDs are really old because you know what? Nobody buys CDs anymore. I haven't bought CDs for years. So like the CDs that I have are like 10 years old at the newest, 10 to 15 years old. And it's, yeah, it's, there are some people who are feeling nostalgic and like actual records. And there's actually in LA, is I know there's a lot of small, like independent, like used record stores that have popped up, and people like those, and people that do DJing, they like records too. But there used to be next to my place, the cottage used to have, there was a used bookstore, used DVD store, and used record store. Jesus says right now he's listening to AC/DC. Bad to the Bone. That's one of their songs, right? And yeah, now everything is on the internet, so I don't. You can just stream it online. So I don't think anyone even barely buys CDs anymore. You just download it into your computer. Sam says vinyl is making a big comeback. That's right, Sam. It's right up there with coal. There'll always be a few holdouts. Oh, Linda. Well, then, Linda, those are all download streaming songs. Yeah. You shook me all night long. Yeah. She was a something. She kept her motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I'd ever seen. She had the side to side, taking me for a ride. And it told me to come, but I was already gone. I'm not sure if that's the right song. Shook me all night long. Sam says, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's Tisa says, oh, okay, the words I was missing is sightless eyes telling me no lies. What is the name of that song, Tisa? David Jones says, I think you listen to Kim Carnes when you think no one is watching you. Kim Carnes. What did she sing, David Jones? Was that? I've heard the name. You shook me all night long. Oh, Betty Davis Eyes. Okay, I was going to see that. David Jones. I do know that song. I do know that song. Betty Davis Eyes. I don't know the rest of the song. I remember that line. I know that song. I don't know. I don't think I know anything else she's ever played, but I have heard that song. Yeah. So, woohoo. Yeah. So everybody, like, what is everybody else's favorite music? Do you like, just do it for everyone there. Since Sam asked a question and asked me, I'm going to ask the rest of you too. Do you find that you only like music from whatever was playing in your teens and 20s? Or do you like current music? Or do you like a mix of current, old, middle? And Linda says she likes a little bit of everything, but mostly from the 60s and 70s. Yes, Linda loves the Beatles. Sam says, I am listening to Santana tonight. I saw him at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City in 1972. when he was 17. Wow. That was so long ago. Yeah, what's Dantooine, what's your favorite music? And David Jones, do you even listen to music? David Jones says his first concert was Frank Zappa. David Jones, I cannot see you going to Frank Zappa because Frank Zappa is too, he's out there. He's crazy, crazy. And T says, what's your favorite music? David Jones says he likes the Scorpions. Okay, that's like 80s big hair music, right? Holy cow. Linda says her very first concert. What, Linda, how old were you when that happened? You must have been, that must have been in your 40s or 50s. You must have been pretty old for that because you didn't move to Fargo until, Linda says she lived in Fargo, North Dakota when she saw her very first concert, and it was Ozzy Osbourne and Rob Zombie. So Hilary Starr went to headbanging metal music concert when she was in her 50s for her very first concert. Wait, was that the only concert you've been to? Is that the first one and the last one? Dantooine says he likes anything Beatles, Stones, Sting, Simon Garfunkel, Carole King. Okay, Dantooine, you're totally 60s and 70s too. David Jones says he's also seen Pat Benatar, Pink Floyd, and Roger Waters. Okay, David Jones, were you like a long-haired stoner in high school? Is this conservative thing like new for you? Did you have that? Were you like the guy in the smoking lounge with long hair and dirty clothes? David Jones says he was never a stoner, but he was in the smoking lounge and he took all of his classes in auto shop. David Jones says, no, totally wrong. He was one of the only 10 people in his high school taking physics. Okay. See, I still don't even know what physics is. What is physics? Though, speaking of physics and science and all that, I love all the new, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of the new stuff that like NASA and people that study like space have been discovering, where they've actually been able to and illustrate gravitational waves, which was only a theoretical that they actually exist, but actually just there was actual visible evidence of gravitational waves and of two planets colliding, and to see the, I don't know if anyone checked that out, but it's pretty cool. And it's funny because a lot of these things were actually things that Einstein theorized and said said were probably true, but at that time he couldn't actually prove it. We couldn't see it. Now this is a long time since Einstein has been dead that we're actually getting to the point where we can prove a lot of the things he said. Now, not everything he said was completely true because he was, it was a long time ago, but a lot of the stuff he said has helped people to build on that. But a lot of the stuff he said was still true today. Like he was some kind of crazy genius. Sam says he likes Roger Waters. Jesus says, did you go to Woodstock? No. Oh, are you asking David Jones? Yeah. Does anyone here went to Woodstock? That was in the 60s, right? David Jones says, physics explains the world mathematically. That's what all these NASA people are doing. Jet propulsion labs. David Jones says he was 6 when Woodstock happened. So that was in the 60s, right? Sam says he was asked to go, but he was too young in 1969. 69, 68. Oh, okay. So yeah, well, it's legendary, and people have like used it, the legend of Woodstock, to try and recreate that, but it's kind of impossible because the things that they've recreated now, like Burning Man and all these different like outdoor musical fests, are a lot more commercialized and kind of faux hippie, cool hipster things that don't really have the same kind of they aren't exactly Woodstock. David Jones says it was August 15th, 1969. So, oh my goodness, and it's already 5:45. Woohoo! How did that happen so quickly? Wow. Well, I want to thank, and look how dark it's getting already. It's just pretty soon it's going to be dark when I start my show. Like in another month. I'm already sad. Yeah, so I want to thank you guys for coming to see me because you're awesome, and thank you for your wonderful questions. Woohoo! Helped me be the genius that I am today. And I will be back tomorrow for Funny Friday, where we share jokes to put everybody in a good mood for the weekend. So I hope you'll have some jokes to share with everybody. All right. Kisses for everybody. Bye. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye.